Good afternoon, Ape Nation. It is Sunday, August 29th, 2021. I hope you guys are having an excellent weekend. Yesterday, I made a video talking about the mainstream media and Tim Pool and how on his podcast on YouTube the other night, Steve Bannon was saying how everyone hates the apes because we're bucking the system. We continue to buy and hold stocks that we like, and that's a problem for the establishment. And today, I want to talk about the CEOs of the two companies that we rescued back in January, specifically Aron and Mr. Cohen from GameStop. I made a video on this a while back, but as time goes on and I see the battering that AMC has taken and that we have as a community, the more this begins to vex me when I think back to it. And I'm starting to wonder to myself, what course of action can we take as far as what happened back in the beginning of June when we were looking like we were about to Moass and we got the rug pulled out from under us? Say what you will about these two guys. I think they've been overall good for the companies. I think they've helped improve the name brand and kept it relevant in the media. I'm going to give them credit where credit is due. But as far as specifically talking about the Moass for AMC and GME, both of them have had a hand in killing it right when we were about to start gaining some steam. But before I go too far,
cue the speeder.
And you just said that on camera. This going viral.
Guys, thank you so much for crushing it and getting me to 1,000 subscribers. If I haven't earned your subscription yet, this is the way.
AMC Entertainment filing to sell 11.55 million shares. This according to an 8K that AMC will sell those shares, quote, from time to time. You're looking at the stock up this morning, up close to $80, 11% higher, $69.50. Of course, they'd be raising something on the order of $800 million. Again, an opportunity for them to pay down some debt. Getting in while the getting is good. If, in fact, they're doing this, there's been a question mark about how many shares they ultimately could sell without a shareholder vote. And we're going to try to dig through this filing and try to understand some of the details that are coming out literally as we speak. Meantime,
okay, guys, so from the report, it seems they're going to not be selling these all in one full swoop. They're going to be doing it from, time to time. So there's no need to panic. They're not going to dump 11.5 million shares on the market right now. We don't even know if they've been approved to do it yet or if we still all need to vote. So guys, don't panic, hold the line, let's find out what's going on before anyone panics or we do anything crazy.
Looking back on that now, man, that was embarrassing. And it's the only time I had to come out immediately after making a video and say that I didn't know what I was talking about because I went by what CNBC had said. According to them, they were going to be released slowly over the market, not a dump. And so that's what I reported so that people didn't panic. And turned out, we found out later that night, that's not actually what happened. Just to remind you of what did happen, well, I'm not going to tell you. Roll the film.
I like the piece of that you said there wasn't any hard proof stating that they actually made that statement. So I think that's a good thing to get out there, that there wasn't any hard documentation. But the next question that I've got for you is regarding the 11.5 million shares that were sold today. Now, this is just raised some concerns for a lot of the investors. Now, there was the first interview here, we talked about how AMC had, 46-ish thousand shares total remaining after they'd issued those 43 million shares, offering into the market and raised a...
So guys, in case your memory has to be jogged, remember what Trey just said. The last time that they had interviewed, the first interview that had gone on between Aron and Trey, Aron had clearly come on and said, we only have 47,000 shares left after the 43 million shares that they released that they had left over from 2015. Now, this is the video that I did on June 19th, where I first dug up this information about the proposal and how these shares were supposed to be voted on. According to the words coming out of Aron's mouth, not mine, these 20 million shares, the 11.5 million they gave to MUDRICK and the 8.5 million that they made a general offering on, were supposed to be voted on by the shareholders. And here is it from the horse's mouth.
To hear what you have to say, but where did these shares come from for this 11.5 million shares that you sold into the market for MUDRICK Capital for those 8.5 million shares? And are there any shares remaining that we should expect for the future so we can make better investment decisions for ourselves?
Sure thing. And Trey, that's one of the reasons I came on with you today, is to make sure that we get the straight scoop out in front of all of the people who are shareholders of our company. Back when we said that we had 43 million shares available for sale, you will also recall that was before the May 4 shareholder meeting that was postponed. One of the items that was up for shareholder vote at the May 4 meeting was to put 20 million AMC shares into what's called the Management Equity Incentive Plan. Those shares would be essentially given to the management of the company. Given, I might add, for free to the management of the company.
Right.
Okay, so let me pause AA right there. And this is the actual proposal that was filed with the SEC by AMC. And in number 5 here, it's the approval of an amendment to the company's 2013 Equity Incentive Plan. Basically an incentive for upper management, the CEOs, the CFOs, to be able to receive these shares as compensation and bonuses for a job well done. And while I have no problem with that at all, and I think that they have overall done a good job, the fact that they did not actually vote on this proposal to release those shares would be against the filing. Because when this paperwork was filed, according to the SEC document here, these would have had to been voted on by the shareholders. And in the video, I read out what this exactly says to you. So I'm going to jump to that part of the video. Proposal number 5, the Equity Incentive Plan. We are submitting for stockholder approval an amendment, a stockholder approval, that's us, Ape Nation, to increase the number of shares available for awards under the EIP by 20 million shares to 35 million. So they already have 15 million. Shares replenishment provision to comply with NYSE rules by eliminating the ability to reuse shares that have been previously issued and returned to the company as payment for the exercise price of stock options or payment of taxes. So this was the 5th proposal that was going to be on the May 4th shareholders meeting that got postponed until July 29th. And very clearly it states here, submitting for stockholder approval, which means when they dumped those 20 million shares on the market, they did not have shareholder removal. And why is that relevant? You're probably asking, why is that relevant? Okay, so we all know about the charts. We all know that AMC, when those 2 market dumps came on, were at all-time highs, and that essentially killed the Moass. Because not only did we lose the numbers, as in the stock dropped the price per share, but also MUDRICK came out, and even though Aron denied it that night, saying that there was no proof that MUDRICK had said that the stock was overvalued, by then the damage had been done. We had already taken a 13 or 14% drop on the day, so it was kind of too late at that point to come out and say, oh, that's just FUD, they didn't say that. The damage had been done. And you can say the same thing with GME. When Ryan Cohen made that share dump, and one is going to trigger the other. If we're going to when we're going to Moass, GME is going to trigger AMC or vice versa. But if you come back to the day here, it was, what was it? It was June 8th that GME had hit an all-time high of 344.66. And they had their earnings report, and then Cohen came out and dumped 5 million shares. And what happened? We took a $100 plunge in less than a day. And so it leaves me with the suspicion those shares didn't have to go to MUDRICK. As Aron said, that was a favor because they had lent the money back in the previous fall to help them get out of some debt and get their theaters reopened. And that was basically a favor to MUDRICK, who killed the momentum of our stock, and to this day still has not been voted on. That May 5th meeting got moved to July 29th, which we had a couple weeks ago. And he said, of course, that was off the table because they had already released those stocks onto the open market, MUDRICK directly. So they were able to pick up all of that extra cash. And essentially, that was the end, the beginning of the end of the closest thing we've come to the Moass so far. I just wonder what our grievances are at this point, because was there a breaking of the rules there? Because even CNBC that morning had reported that they didn't even know if these shares were legit because they probably had to be voted on. So don't expect a dump. And yet, what did we get? We got a share dump. And it just leaves me with the question of what are our grievances? And probably it will end up being nothing. But I think it's important just to remember that we are battling many demons here. And as great as Aron and COHEN have been, when it really came down to brass tacks, and when you really get down to the situation that we've seen develop over the last 3 months since June 3rd, this was really a killer for Ape Nation. Both of these guys, well, I would say, did us dirty. And it's a little disheartening to know that as much as you want to put faith in these people, he could have waited to give MUDRICK those shares. They didn't have to be delivered that day when we were, you know, $22 away from 100. And it still bothers me. And I'm still looking into what possible actions that we as shareholders have to take in this. Because as time goes on, I start to get more and more concerned about how much really is going to be done by Gensler and Yellen and the rest of them. The more I start to lose faith in that they're going to really help us and try to clamp down on these hedge funds and the malpractice going on. And the next video I'm going to be making is going to be talking about Gensler and Yellen and Roper, the new attack dog for Gary Gensler. Is she all bark and no bite? We're going to find out. I did some digging. I pulled up some amazing paperwork that I found and some articles from back before GameStop started to squeeze, just to kind of give you an idea of where their mindset is at and maybe what we can expect going forward. All right, so that's all I got for this afternoon. If you guys liked the video, if you want to hit the like, well, I almost said smash the like button. If you want to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, that's great. If you really want to see the videos, you're going to have to turn on the alerts because they are not putting my videos out. I know I'm attacking everybody and their mother, but it's been 9 months, and I know that this, I know Ape Nation is rock solid in their beliefs, and that 90% of us are on the same page. But we got to keep the pressure on them. I don't see any reason to let up on the gas right now until people start making some moves that are going to benefit us. I'm not letting anyone slip by without scrutiny where they deserve it. All right, guys, that's all I got for this afternoon. I'll be back later with that video. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Massalorian, and I'm out.